Well, greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I will be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of that so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to attend the after party. Now, here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Sunset, Mary, and Foxtrot. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Understand that sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. My understanding is that you must have a YouTube channel or registration to enter comments or questions in the chat box. So that might be a hurdle, but a small hurdle for some of you to do, right? Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video. And also comment. And speaking of comment, I don't check in on Sparky's channel. This is Sparky's channel, by the way. I have my own channel. It's called Flying Control Line Stunts. If you have a comment or a question, I will get a notification on my cell phone that or my computer about your comment, and I'll be able to get back to you quickly. Now, if you would please consider joining our YouTube channel memberships, that also would help us out. The membership started at $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day, and your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges I'll see in the YouTube chat and unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. You can also use a super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box to make donations. And by the way, that's only available during the live stream. The super chat is only available during the live broadcast. So please remember, I do this on Mondays and Fridays at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come in during that 2-hour time period, make a donation or put your comment or question in there, and then come back and watch the replay and when it's more convenient. But that'll really be helpful. And I want to thank you for your past, your future, and present support, and because you are making it happen. And please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, don't say or don't do anything you wouldn't do in front of your children or grandchildren. And I'm going to post a link at our Stunthangar forum I mentioned earlier. Let me do that now. And that's going to be posted right now. There we go. So I'm posting the link on Stunthangar forum. Let me get rid of this. And I still haven't finished setting up this this program. All right, great. Let me see here. Oh, that's not locked. Okay, we got one participant right now, and let me see what's going on YouTube. Hope everybody's having a good day. I've had a good day. I'm looking forward to getting together with some friends, and hopefully some new people will come in. see here. Just getting the show set up. Just bear with me for a second. Let's see here. I want to see what's going on in the control panel in YouTube. See how many people are in the chat. Here we go. Okay, that's going great. All right. Excellent. All righty. All right. So it looks like we have 9 concurrent viewers. Thank you very much. And we have 3 likes. So if you would please hit the like button, and greatly appreciate that. There's no one in the chat at this moment, and there's no one inside here with me. Let me set this thing up. So I got a few things I need to fix. All right, I just see Jeff Riley just came in. Hey, Jeff. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. Yeah, I look forward to Fridays. It's typically people don't have to go to work the next day, and so we tend to have a really good after party. And no joke, I have said on the monologue many times that sometimes the after party is better than the live stream. And you might think that's just a come on, but I'm not kidding. Sometimes it really is better. People know they're not being streamed, and they let their hair down, and we have some really good conversations. Now we're up to 5 likes. We have 10 viewers and 5 likes, so please continue hitting the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that. And Mike Rigel, he says, I always click the like button first thing. Thank you very much, Mike Rigel. I appreciate that. Hey, John, how's it going? Can you hear me? I can't hear anybody. Hang on, I think I muted something. Let me, glad you came in, John, because I can't hear you. I also can't hear me. Let's see, how can I fix this? Please do that. There we go. And he says,
how's this?
That's much better.
Oh, my mic was muted.
Oh, your mic was muted. Okay. I can't, normally I hear myself talking, but I don't hear myself. I don't know what's going on.
You just heard yourself talking too much. Wear your eardrums out.
Yes.
Look at here. That is a pizza. I went and bought that sucker.
That looks good. That looks good. Oh, don't lose any pieces, man. That looks good.
That's a Hawaiian pizza with jalapenos.
Yeah. I noticed the jalapenos. I see you like hot food, I guess, huh?
I got used to it years ago, and I do like it. Keeps me young and healthy, I guess. My dog likes it. My dog likes it too. He's part Mexican. So.
Yeah, I think hot food might have a little bit of anti-inflammation properties too, so that might not be a bad.
I think there's something to that. Just a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm surprised it's not getting the droppings that's falling off the pizza.
He gets them. He likes anything I give him.
Oh, that's cool. I have a little clip here by.
He'll eat the crust. He'll eat the jalapeno. It don't matter.
Wow. Oof. So Gary Sinclair, he says, "Hi Charles, and Friday Night Gang. Be back Monday night live with you." All right, Gary. I guess you've been out of town or something. Because Gary, you know I've been reaching out to you. I've been getting your call screener, and made several attempts to reach you. So, anyways, I'm back with you, John. Well, what you been doing? Anything airplane wise?
Well, yeah, kind of. I've been, you know, I was a year and a half or 2 years ago. I got hacked and I lost all my drawings and that, and I had backups, but they're all on different flash drives, you know, and I've been too lazy or too busy. I'm not sure which. I think it might be the first to go through all those flash drives and get them all organized. And I have a really nice guy in Rome, Italy, Arnoldo. He's probably listening right now. And he wants a set of plans for a variant of the Pathfinder I did for the guys in Brazil.
Wow.
Basically 530 square inch Pathfinder. So it works good for 25 to 35 size engines. So anyway, I had to find it. And I spent 2 days going through I finally found it just about an hour and a half ago.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, but Arnoldo, I'm going to go through it a little bit tonight and tomorrow and make sure everything's right on it. And put a couple of little options on there. So you should have the most up-to-date version when you get it. And Arnoldo, join Stunthangar and come visit us.
Yeah, it's open 24/7. You can register anytime and then come on in.
Your English is good enough.
Pardon me 1 second, John. We got some more on the chat. Jeff Riley says, hi, Gary, John, and that pizza looks like a quick trip to the relief station to me. And then Gary Sinclair says, on vacation. Oh, that explains everything. All right. And then Jeff Riley says, Mike Rigel says, hot peppers are supposed to be very healthy and they're supposed to keep you feeling cooler in hot weather. Wow. That's some good info. Thank you.
Yeah,
And Ronnie Layden, he says, good show, Charles. Thank you, Ronnie. I think he maybe only been a couple times, maybe not at all, but welcome. And Mike Rigel says, I have a whole gallon jar of pickled jalapenos, but I don't eat them often. Wow, I've never had pickled jalapenos. That sounds good, actually.
You'd like them.
That sounds delicious, Mike Rigel. Then Dennis Adamison says, delivered a like. Thank you very much, Dennis. I appreciate that. And I know Sparky does too, and the Stunthangar channel does. So that's all good. We're up to 13 concurrent viewers, 11 likes, and 0 chat revenue, no members, no new members. So please consider joining our YouTube membership. It's only $4.99 a month. That's less than 17 cents a day, and that helps. And then the chat revenue, the super chat, looks like a $sign at the bottom of the chat box. And just hit that and make a donation. Please, that'd be wonderful. Well, I haven't done any flying myself, but I've had some things to do. And I do this kind of reward punishment type of thing to myself to get me motivated to do what I don't want to do. And so I've been withholding my airplanes. And I just finished, so I'm going to get on the plane tomorrow, get on working on my airplanes tomorrow. And also, we didn't have a chance to fly this Friday, so I really wasn't that motivated. We had a baseball. I fly at a public park, and I fly in the athletic fields, and they had a big baseball tournament starting yesterday and through the weekend. So I didn't want to go to that madhouse and try to fly a plane with all the kids there and all that. So, so as a result, I really wasn't that motivated anyways to, but now that that's over or going on, and I hope to have next week all free, get some flying in next week. Plus, I'm preparing for the jousts put on by the Knights of the Round Circle out in Whittier Narrows. That's in South El Monte, California.
What day is that going to be?
I'm trying to remember. I get confused. I know
I remember that night.
I know the Las Vegas Challenge is November 6th and 8th, I think. It's in August. Oh, that's, thank you, John. Let me click on you. Oh, this thing doesn't work like the old one did. Can't make out the dates. Why don't you go ahead and,
November 6th and 7th are the dates. 6th, we fly Classic, Nostalgia 30, and Old Time. Starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. On Sunday, they'll be flying beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert on Sunday. And Friday is open flying to practice that. They have a different site, though, they'll be flying at because somebody built something on the old one.
oh, okay.
And
Well,
Saturday night, there's the pizza party at what's his name's house? The guy-
Ruben.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I feel I want to go to that contest too. So I've been definitely thinking about that. I've missed every single one of them, and I feel bad about that. I think it's probably the fifth one.
fourth one. It
Fourth
would have
one.
been fifth one, but we didn't have one last year.
So I'm looking forward to. I heard it's a great contest, run excellently, and look forward to it. And those of you that are outside of Las Vegas, you know, flights into Las Vegas are relatively simple. And if you make arrangements, I'm pretty sure Stephen and Ruben could provide a plane for you to fly. So you could fly into Las Vegas with the inexpensive flight arrangements, and then they're going to get a group room rate near the flying site as well. And so it should be something that you don't have to be a local person to consider going to. It should be really easy to get to that compared to some other contests.
Yeah. They are looking for people to step in and help do the judging.
Okay.
But now, back to the Knights Joust. When's that going to be?
I don't remember. Let me see. Did I put on my phone?
I'm sorry to do that to
Put
you.
on the phone. That's okay. I mean, I know it's late August. I might have put it in my calendar. Let me see here.
So I'm planning on being in Southern California in October. So I hope it's in October because my 60th high school reunion, I haven't been to one of them in all these years.
You're talking about the joust? The joust is in August.
I know. I was just hoping it was in October.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember October. I think the Golden State Stunt Championship is in October.
Is it?
I believe so.
It's usually at Labor Day weekend. Or is that? No, that's the regional, Northwest Regionals. They're going to have big contests this year, 47 different events. And I don't know why, but all of a sudden I've lost everything here. So if I disappear, it's because I'm backing out, coming back in.
All righty. I don't know where. Oh, maybe
I'm back. Oh, I was back.
Maybe
I'm gone.
You're not gone yet. I still see you.
You see me, but I don't see nothing.
I still see you, unless there's a delay. I still see you. Let me see. I think I might have printed the flyer.
There I am. I'm back.
All right. Let me see if I can find. My computer's working a little bit slow today.
Been watching you.
Time for a tune-up. Let's see here.
This is all gone, puppy. Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah, I shared it with you. Now be nice. These old guys almost take on human attributes, you know.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a dog. I missed that, but I don't have a dog. I can't find it. If anybody out there in the outside of where John and I am, if you know the dates, please go and let us know in the chat box, and we'll give you some publicity for your contest. I know it's late August. I spoke to John Wright, and he gave me the 411 on it, and I don't remember. I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere. And the funny thing is, I'm sure I emailed a bunch of people, so it's probably my email, but I don't want to waste any time looking for that and take away my attention from you, John. Oh, here we go. Yeah, August 28th.
Okay, so the last weekend in August.
So 28th and 29th, the Knights of the Round Table, their jousts. And I don't have the flyer handed me in front of me to say what is what, but normally, of course, the Pampa, the opening, the advanced and all that's on Sundays. I'm not sure what they're going to have on Saturday.
Usually profile, classic and old time.
Yeah. I might fly classic, that chipmunk that I've been flying. I might bring that for Classic, and I'm working on my Red Strega for Pampa.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm trying to figure out if I got time to build a plane before then, or fix up one of the ones I got. I really need to replace the flap horn, because it's the solder that I used the wrong solder. I used that standard, they call it silver solder, but it's only got like 5% silver in it, and it's just not strong enough. It breaks loose, and I've lost two or three planes over the last 20 years to that happening. And it's occurred on my Pathfinder LE. I don't want to lose that.
No.
And it's occurred on my All-American, it's not senior, it's All-American. Come on, that's mine, Cat. My All-American Eagle. And I don't want to lose that, because that's really a good flying airplane. And so it's occurred on my Torino. And that's another one I don't want to lose.
Oh yeah, you don't want to lose those.
So yeah. So I got to decide which one I might cut into and replace the flap horn.
Well, John Michael says, Marcel Legrand. He says, evening, John and Charles.
Evening.
Good evening, Marcel. Thanks for coming in. Speaking of solder, John, so you said you use that solder that only has 5% silver in it?
Yeah, it's the one everybody in the hobby uses.
You talking about Stay Bright?
Yeah, Stay Bright.
Really, that's what I've used also. That's not strong enough, huh?
Not for the planes I've been flying.
Well, that's good to know. I've been using that because Wendy Unowski's videos, that's all he used was silver solder. Stay Bright silver solder.
Silver solder is good, but you got to get a higher percentage of silver there. And then if I'm going to use a softer solder like that, I need to get in the habit of wire wrapping and drilling a hole, and then bringing a wire both sides and then wrapping them up, and then soldering the whole mess so that it has more resistance to rotating.
Well, when you locate a good solder, let me know. Probably other people like to know too.
Yeah, well, there's some good ones out there. You just need to get a higher percentage than the Stay Bright has. I mean, Stay Bright's a good solder, but it's not good for the loads we're putting on. When you take the planes that I've got a problem with, they're not small planes,
Right. Oh yeah. Let's see my strength.
Yeah. And so they put a lot of pressure on that solder joint on a flap horn.
Yeah.
And there's the guy that could tell us how to do it right without it coming apart and losing the airplane. He's lost.
How about that, John? You guys, I just clicked on the YouTube, and you guys looked kind of lonesome out there, just the two of you.
Yeah,
well, we were. Neither one of us knows anything, so it was.
Well, it's probably why you're making so much sense. But,
thank you. That was a nice compliment.
Well, that's it. You guys always make sense. Always, Charles is just absolutely level and solid and everything like that. And John, you've had your moments too. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Here goes Mike. What's up, Mike?
Still finding its audio and video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you know more about the soldering these flap horns? Using Stay Bright. Is there anything that you use that you think is better?
I buy flap horns. I've never soldered one.
Okay.
I have been thinking about it. There's some nice articles posted on brazing, and it looks really simple.
Yeah,
just have to have enough heat.
There's just been one of those. It's always been a bridge too far. I've always been afraid. It just seems I've talked to other people who have tried welding horns, and they usually heat stress the wire, and with a very bad outcome. And,
yeah.
or they don't use the right solder and the horn itself comes loose on the wire. That's not a good outcome either. So
No, and I've had it where I've wound up with a good solder joint, but after about 20 or 30 flights, I'll feel it shift in there. It hasn't come loose yet, so I land the airplane and I don't fly it again till I can get in there. And typically what I do is get in there and resolder it, get it really a lot of heat, resolder it and add more solder to it. And that works for about another 20 or 30 flights. And I'm at the point now where I think I'm going to buy a finished horn and replace the horn completely.
mhm.
Now I started building my own horns because I wanted the geometrically corrected horn.
Yes.
And I was the only one that, I mean, I was making it for each airplane, so the specific to each airplane. But without getting good solder, you need good silver solder, and you gotta. I like the brazing idea, or even steel welding. I like both those ideas a lot better, but I don't have the knowledge nor the equipment to do it.
You have to
So
look it up. There was a real good thread on that not that long ago. I think seems to me Brett Buck was the one who was really leading the discussion on the brazing kit that he found, and a torch that was the correct temperature that it, wouldn't overheat anything. It would still, still fire off the brazing, and made it sound really simple. So
I'll have to try to find that then, because I don't mind buying it. It's just such a mess on a finished airplane to get in there and try to replace the horn. Yeah.
yeah, I can't imagine doing that. My gosh, I don't even know how you'd start. You don't have the control surfaces aren't removable or anything like that, are they?
Wow.
Nope.
Yeah.
What I'd have to do is get in there with my trusty rusty knife and start cutting things away and try to make it clean cuts so that I can glue them back relatively in the same place and basically hide it. Too big scars on it. My Pathfinder Elite flies so nice. I don't want to have to discard it or lose it in a crash.
Did anybody see the video that at John's garage with Sparky? John Jordan, he had a nice little jig that he made that would hold it all, in position, and then they soldered it, or I'm not sure if they soldered or brazed it. I don't know what they exactly did, but I was so impressed with his jig that he made. And that's
I think they brazed it, but it doesn't matter.
That's the one wrinkle that I need to overcome, is making that jig that holds things still and rigid.
Well, if you're doing accuracy in your control system, you definitely need to learn how to make jigs to jig everything up. It's just like building an airplane. Look at Tran's airplane; they're all jigged it right when he builds it. He builds it in this framework, where it's molds. Everything fits, everything's aligned, and the plane flies great. So,
John, what happened? A flap horn came loose?
Yeah, I've had troubles over the years with flap horns coming loose, and because I was using the Stay Bright solder, it's just that it doesn't have enough silver in it to make it tough enough to handle the job.
Yeah, I had that
in a bigger airplane.
I had that problem with a half A that I used Stay Bright on. But you can, if you can. How'd I fix that? I cut a hole in the bottom of the airplane under the horn. And it was about as wide as the fuselage. It wasn't just a small hole. It was a pretty good sized hole. But I took it to a welding shop and they used, I forgot what they called it, but it was a gas welding. And the only thing that got hot was the point where he put the actual flame. It was a tiny little thing. And they tacked it back together in 3 places. And I flew the plane for another 3 or 4 years till it finally, I let somebody else fly it and they destroyed it for me, but that's all right. You can do it. That the only part that gets hot is just It's just about the size of a BB. It's tiny little soldered. The guy repaired glasses. I remember that. So you'd want to find somebody that can do small welds. But he put three or four little spot welds on it and put it back together, and I was able to glue the spot back in, and I couldn't hide it. So I just took a black pen and kind of featured it and made it look like a removable panel. Everybody loved it. Everybody seemed to love it. If you can't hide it, make it obvious.
I saw somebody do that on a stunner. Did that, put a big circle around it, little voice box out saying, ouch.
Yeah. Well, I remember, what's his name? Dad Gummit. I can't think. Some days I can't think of my own name lately. Anyway, guy in California that's so darn good. Not California, Washington State that's darn good. Put on one of his, I think it was an Impact. He had cut the end of the flap and made a correction in it. He put lessons, he repaired it and then put lessons learned out beside it. Paul Walker. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, it looked good. What the heck? But sometimes if you know it's going to show, don't try to hide it. Feature it.
It's an idea. It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Phil, thanks for coming in, Phil, and
Yes,
Denny,
sir. Thank you.
for coming in, Denny, and thank you, Mike, for coming in. And let me check the chat box. I gotta go over there and see what's going on.
I got to go in there and put my like in.
Oh, thank you. Let's see here. What is going on here? Let's see here. Okay. All right. So I've been ignoring the chat box. I need to get caught up. Marcel Legrand, he says, matter of fact, this is John, and John walked away. So just a minute on that, Marcel. Let me go on to Gordon Haddon. He says, evening all. And then Jeff Riley says, you can braise it with, and James Smith just gave us a super chat of $20. He says, hi guys, I'll be in a minute. Thank you, James. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. And Jeff Riley says, let me get back to you in a minute, second, John. But Jeff Riley says, you can braise it with, what's that? Silphos wire, but it takes a lot of heat. I think I'd rather TIG weld it. The heat is more like, it's more controllable. That's an idea from Jeff Riley, who knows a lot about welding and
I would agree with him on the TIG welding.
and metal fabrication.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
He's pretty sharp.
Yeah. And John, this is for you, John. Marcel Legrand says, John, do you have any videos of you flying somewhere? I watched you fly a Nobler and Charles, and it was nice. It was a nice flight.
I don't have any videos myself of me flying. I'm usually there by myself, or before my wife died, she'd be with me. And we're just too busy with everything. She'd launch the plane and then she'd go run over to see what was for sale. And so I don't have any videos. Now, there might be somebody out there that has videos of me flying, but believe me, I'm not the greatest flyer in the world. I admit it. Everybody knows me, knows it. Best flight I've ever done was a 537, and that was an absolute freak out.
Everything was lined up just perfectly that day, huh?
Yeah, well, it was one of those things. I was flying in the Pacific Northwest Regionals in advanced class, and I looked at it, and the guy ahead of me was ahead of me by about 1.5 points. And I thought, you know, if I do what Gordon Delaney told me to do, just try it, I might be able to catch and beat this guy. What Gordon had told me to do, and others, I've taken, was to, like the old knuckle down, buckle down, and do it.
Yes.
And you know, they had me. I would call out verbally my maneuver that I was going to do next. So I'd come around, I'd take off, say, take off and level flight. And count the laps as I pass the judges. 1, 2, and then I talked myself through this, the whole thing. Be in reverse wing over, and then 3 round loops. 1, 2, 3, and then inverted flight. I did that through the whole flight, and I really buckled down on it because it made me concentrate on what I was doing. And so when I got done, I looked over and the judge was looking back at me. Pat Johnston was looking back at me and he says, "Where the heck did that flight come from?" And I said, "I don't know, it's hiding in there somewhere." and I wound up winning advanced class by a pretty good margin. So much so that I was being threatened to be kicked upstairs. And once you get out of advanced class and get kicked upstairs, you're upon scum sucking, whatever.
Bottom feeder.
Bottom feeder, yeah, for the rest of your life usually. And so, but that's not bad. You're still having fun and you're with people that you like. So, but you're fighting against, like here you go to a contest, this, Charles, you go to a contest in the West Coast and you'll have Ted Fancher, Brett Buck, Uncle Jimby, Paul Walker, Rush, Howard Rush, Gordon Delaney, who can do a really job on you, and several others at every contest. And so if you're an expert class, you are fighting for 4th or 5th. What the guys that do that are on the scum sucker list, they figure, well, I was only 3 places behind Paul Walker,
Yeah, and that's their.
I don't know, John. You got to go into these things with a different attitude. I mean, it's like I was flying sailplanes at the Nationals, and I was in a group. We're there waiting to go out to the winches and everything like that, in kind of a staging area. And I look around, and I just started calling them out. Let's see. See over here, we got a world champion. We got here a twice national champion. We got a level LSF, newest LSF level 5. We got another LSF level 5, and he's done it twice. And they're all thinking the same thing. Crap, we got to fly against Dennis. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you compete.
Well, Bob Hunt told me what you do.
Yeah, so
I once asked him.
Yeah,
I once asked him.
Act of defiance, John.
Yeah, I once asked him about. I said, I've noticed that I'll fly, in my local area, and I tend to score in this bracket. But I'll go to another area, and it's either one or two things: either outscore my old bracket, or I score 50 points below my old bracket. And he said, well, that's normal. They don't know you. They've never seen you. They're judging you very critically. Well, I said, well, what do you do about that? He says, there's only one thing you can do. You practice and you practice and you practice and you fly until you get so good they can't deny you. He's right.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
Hey,
What you
John,
have
how
to
do you
do.
get to Carnegie? How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
Lots of practice.
Yeah, practice. Yeah,
Well, as I said, the world championships found in the bottom of a gallon of fuel. They just
We just don't know which one.
yes.
That's what Loop always says.
I like that.
Phil, question for you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I got a letter from a fella from North Carolina wanting some plans for the 2 bits, and he's with the Triad something.
Golden Triad Model Masters.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but I think you probably know him.
Oh, I'm sure I do if he's a model master. That's the club I'm in.
Oh, okay. And so
I showed the pictures on my phone to some guys at lunch one day. We'd love to know which one it was wrote you though. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I went through and found out what happened or what was happening there, at that point in my life when I was drawing those plans. Because I drew the
Uh-huh.
plans first and then I flew it. And I ran into this problem. And so anyway, the latest set of plans are called the 1.5 Bipe because
Okay.
I had the 2 bits as a single wing, a mono wing plane.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 bits bipe, it just got confusing. So it went to the 1.5 bipe or the 1.5. So
Okay.
I went through and I dug up the latest set of drawings for the 1.5. Did that today.
Okay.
And I'm going to convert them into PDFs.
Mhm.
And I'm going to send you and your fellow triad guy a set of copy. And there's a guy in New Zealand. And there's one other guy where it's anyway. And all you guys are going to be help me shave weight off it because what I've got there is a prototype and they're always heavy. They always have too much wood in them or too much weight on them. So that, and we're gonna play with. I think I want to make the wings adjustable, the top wing.
Yeah.
But I want to also play with the flaps a little bit because the closer we can leave the 2 wings at 0, 0, the better the glide.
That's exactly right.
And the biplanes are famous for the motor quits and they boom, right, plop on the ground.
Well, that 38 special glides pretty good, John. It's much better than I expected.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a huge amount of difference in the incidence on the wings.
No, they're same.
And my Sheik's Stagger Wing Beach flew the pattern with authority. It was a great flying airplane, and it was 0, 0. So, if we can shave some weight off it, use the zigzag strips on the wings, and actually the version of the 1.5 has longer wings on it. They're even more higher aspect ratio. The tips make it closer to a what do you call it, symmetrical wing. So anyway, so I'm going to be working on those for a couple of days, and you might see them show up at your house within 4 weeks out. Okay.
Okay, sounds great.
I went over and looked.
We'll get it.
I went over and looked at
Start
cans of Rust-Oleum Painter's Choice today at the Ace Hardware here locally, and they got those little 1/2 pint jars like that. They're $6.95, and they have the quart cans. They're $11.99 or something like that.
I might get you to send me some of them later on.
How the heck can I send it through the mail? That's what.
Put it in a wrap each one in bubble wrap, put it in a box, and just label it as watercolor paints or something.
Water-based paint, probably.
Water-based paint, yeah. As long as it's not flammable, it does not. You don't have to have a whatever that is. I forgot what you call it, hazmat rating on it. And those just water-based. It's not flammable.
I looked at the quart of cans, would come to get white and black and red and yellow and blue. And they do have a green, that's forest green. But getting those, it costs you about $60 for the paint.
I ain't worried about that.
No, I know, but I mean that's a cheap paint.
It is. I just can't figure out why I can't get it locally. It just burns me up. Everybody says they have it, but nobody has it.
Well, it probably.
I asked the guy at Ace, could he get it? And he said, well, I don't know why we don't have it. We're supposed to have it. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, keep the pressure on them. If worst comes to worst, I'll try to get you some and send it to you. Okay, I'm done monopolizing.
All right, let me ask you one. I just looked up where you told me to look at Stalker 81s.
Yeah.
And a Stalker 81 is $375. I don't know how much. I don't know whether they're going to tax that or what else. I don't know what was on my finger, but I just wiped my eye. And boy, I should have done that. I have a feeling I forgot to wash my hands after I finished eating Mexican tonight.
Oh, that hurts. That burns.
Yeah, that burns. Anyway, does anybody have D. Rice's telephone number?
No.
I'm trying. I need to get in touch with D Rice. I've been trying for 2 weeks to get through to the Brotherhood of the Ring. I want to get some of those Brotherhood of the Ring stickers, and the triangle one with the ringmaster doing a triangle to go on my new ringmaster. And it's turned out to be a right pretty little airplane. I'll show y'all when I get it finished. But I can't get through to them to get the darn decals, and it's really getting a little frustrating.
Boy, I'm
It's not in
sure.
the directory of the Pampa.
No, it's not Pampa. It's you go to RC Universe and then look up Brotherhood of the Ring.
No, I mean to get D Rice's number.
If he's a member of Pampa,
I'll try that tomorrow then. Maybe that'll work. I'll have to re-up. I put in last year before last, I put in for the mailed copy, which is much more expensive than the just over the air copy. And I was hoping they would let me just pay the difference and use it for 2 years, but I've not gotten an answer back from anybody yet. Maybe when Mark gets in, I'll see if he can talk to his father-in-law and figure out what the heck we can do. But anyway, I'm gonna get back in Pampa either way, because I miss reading that. That's a good publication. If they're not doing a whole lot, but just reading the back issue stuff will refresh your memory and teach you an awful lot.
Well,
they got a lot of good stuff on there.
You haven't brought that up. Let me give a little statement here. If you know something about the hobby, even if you are not a true absolute expert on it, if you know something, you know the truths and the ins and outs, write down a couple of paragraphs on it and send it in. They need it. They need the help.
Might have to send them something. I know a few things I could probably write up. Anyway,
even if
John,
you don't know Bill, you got a boatload of airplanes. You just finished that really cool humbug and stuff like that.
I love that plane. That's fun.
That is really something to share. So,
I might do that. That thing is really, I had it flying on a 25F, and it flew, but it just didn't. I said, this plane's just not this heavy. It flew heavy. So I put it on those 14 lines, those brass lines, the 14s instead of 15s. And then I took the 25 out and put a 32 in it. Oh, have I got a tiger by the tail now, brother? Let me tell you, that thing's fun.
Oh, yeah.
It would be about the same weight too, wasn't it? The engine 32 is about the same. Yeah.
Very close. Very close.
I think
But
the way
36.
to look at that, is I have not the slightest doubt that if that 32 was available to Bob Barron, he would have never messed with a Vico 19. Right?
I mean that.
Yeah.
That 32 is a sharp motor.
Yeah.
32 is a really nice motor. I've had more fun with that thing. And it's like it's just so easy to start and so easy to run. There's no fooling around with it. I'm probably going to have to make a couple of head gaskets and calm it down a little bit. It breaks a little harder than I really want. But I mean, what you need, a Pepsi can and a cutter. Spend 20 minutes to make some head gaskets.
It's an ABC engine, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it'll take it a while, but it'll soften up as it gets a little more time on it. So.
Oh, it will, but I'm in a hurry. I don't want to put a head gasket in and calm it down. I've cut it down to 5%, and the darn thing still breaks too hard. That's a powerhouse of a little motor.
Your experiences on that motor, Phil. Your experiences. Write it up. It'll be good fodder for Pampa.
That too, absolutely. That's a nice little sub article all by itself.
Okay, I can do that. We've been playing around with a lot of stuff where we used to keep cutting nitro and cutting nitro and cutting nitro. Now we just add a couple head gaskets to change the brake and fly on 5%. And then when it gets hot, go to 10%. I mean, what got me thinking about all this was I went to the Nats one year, the year that they had the Worlds, and I saw Billy Werwis mix up some 18% nitro and put in P47. I said, when he got through, I didn't want to bother him then, but later in the Big Ten, I asked him, Billy, what was that all about? He says, well, it's getting hot out there. The nitro is oxygen. It's like throwing oxygen into the motor. It's power. And the more power you put in, the more line tension you get out. So it's getting real hot, and 10% wasn't getting it. So I went to 15, and I went to 18. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't arguing with Billy Worvich.
Right.
Well, there's another good article there.
He's forgot more than I know. Billy's forgot more than I know, probably ever know. That man,
I know, but
he's sharp.
You could
Yeah,
still
make a
call
good
the
article.
You could still call the article "Arguing with Billy Worvich," and you could illustrate what a foolish thing that is to do.
You can't argue with Billy Worvich. If Billy says he knows what he's talking about, he knows what he's talking about, and he can back it up.
Yes,
But
let me interrupt you guys. I'm getting behind on
go
the
ahead.
chat box. Matter of fact, just to let you know, I had to increase the zoom so I can read this thing. I want to go back to one that I kind of butchered up, and that's the one when Marcel says, "John, what?" He said, "Do you have any videos of you flying somewhere?" And then period. Then he said, "I watched you fly a Nobler, Charles, and it was a nice flight." Thank you very much, Marcel. That is one of my videos on my YouTube channel, and that plane flew pretty good, that's for sure. And then Mike Rigel says, "What size was your stagger wing, John?"
It was Jack Sheik's classic legal design, and it's I think 48-inch wingspan or something like that.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and it was based primarily on a 35. The first engine I put on it, and it really worked well, was I happened to have one of those little Wankels, and a 30. It was classed as a 30, but each side of that Wankel was 30, and so it was basically a 90. And
that was
it
a cool
worked
motor.
really well. The last engine I had was a Thunder Tiger GP 42, and that is a good engine for stunt.
Yeah,
it's timed like the 36 that
Randy Smith made.
Smith uses for his what does he call it? What does he call it?
Air Tiger 36.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a good engine for it. The 42 is a good engine. Those are all good engines for it. But it flew very well. It wasn't very heavy, and it was set up. The wings were set up at 0-0, and the tail was 0-0, and the thrust was 0-0. Because I didn't know anything about putting any down thrust in it at that time. But it never really suffered from hunting or anything like that. It was a good solid airplane, but it would fly the whole pattern without a problem. And it had a nice glide. The engine would quit, and I could do 1.5 laps around the circle in the glide, which is unheard of for a biplane.
It is.
That's pretty impressive. Let me continue on. Jim Smith, I guess he tried to get in, so he said, "Drat, saying meeting ID is invalid. I'll reboot my computer." Hopefully you can get back in here, Jim. And then Mike Rigel says, "Who made that 32, Phil? I didn't catch that."
It's an OS Max 32. I think it was built as a helicopter motor.
Yeah.
But Randy Smith had Randy Smith has massaged on this one. I got it from Ward Van Duzer, but Ward ran one on that plane. I can't remember the name of it that he had that had a tune pipe on the side of it, and it just that's sharp.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
It's classic legal too.
What are you looking at?
I'll have to hunt up the plans. That it's a Stagger Wing Beach.
Oh,
that's a good looking plane. That's a
screen share.
I'm sorry, Charles. I was prepping the screen share here. I don't know if it's how it's showing up. Bill sees it.
I see it.
Bill see it.
And John Miller, do you see it? Okay, now I see it's on the YouTube now. So.
Now I see it. Okay, yeah, now I see it.
Now I see it.
Those are
I-beam wings?
I-beam wings, yes.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Not everything.
A lot of
everything
stuff
did.
Sheeks did was cool.
Jack was a pretty sharp guy.
I had to shorten the nose a little bit when I put that heavy Wankel up front. And so I used the math when I was putting the lighter engine, and I had to set the engine out, I think, like an inch and a quarter further forward to balance it the same way it was balanced before. And
Wow.
I just added material I made a new nose ring for the you know, the round
Front
ring.
of it, yeah.
And
That's
it
cool.
worked out just fine. But I had an RC style mount on there for the last engine because I didn't use the regular motor mounts for control line. It worked fine. It worked real good. I had the hatch on
I
the
had one of
bottom,
those.
came open. Didn't have one on the top.
Let me continue on with the chat. Let's see here. Greg Nielsen, he says, evening all from South Florida. Evening, Charles. Thank you, Greg, for coming in. And evening to you. And Microgel says, that's a good size for a bike plane. And then Microgel says, I'll try to locate a copy of those plans. Nice plane.
I think you find them on what's that?
Outer Zone. Outer Zone.
Outer Zone.
Or the other one. Or Hip Pocket probably also, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
and then worst comes to worst, you could go to the AMA site.
Well, the Flying Models plan site is still active.
Is it?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Good deal. I'll have to look into that then.
Oh, let me rephrase that. They were active about a year ago.
Oh,
But it's,
well, it
at
might
any
still
rate,
be.
I'd say give them a shot. So
I tell you what, seeing what this stalker sells for on this site, I may have to look into an 81, John.
Yeah, well, Charles bought one most recently, and he can probably tell you about any extra fees that were tacked on.
I'm trying to remember what the shipping was. I don't remember.
But it says the motor's $375.
Yeah, that comes with the muffler for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a 76 last year, but I bought it from Tom Dixon. And this is this also says glow plugs, OS 8, $699.
Good deal. You also
Yeah, that
want
is
to
a
buy
good deal.
If they can actually get them.
you want to buy a couple
Well,
of extra gasket sets.
There's a couple of what?
Gasket sets.
Oh yeah.
Big gaskets.
Yeah.
And on the back end just screws on,
Yeah.
but you need
It's got a little tiny O-ring on it, but good luck finding it.
Yeah.
And their wheels are really inexpensive. I would get some wheels too, Phil.
Buy an extra
Wheels?
Buy an extra needle valve assembly.
Like $2.
Buy an extra needle valve assembly. If you
Yeah.
don't need it, somebody else might. And then you get your money back.
I'll have to look through this. I've never been on this site before, but they got a lot of stuff.
What site is
I'll
that?
look into that.
Control line.
Control line parts.
Oh, yeah. That's Richland.
Now,
That's
Greg
a new-
Nielsen says, anyone flown the Genie? Ordered the plans off Flying Models.
The Genie.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that.
Genie.
Genie.
I'm not familiar with that airplane. Are you familiar with that?
isn't that a Jim Aaron or something like that from the 70s?
It might be, but I'm only familiar with one or two of Aaron's airplane. He was pretty specific style.
Mhm.
His latest style is really nice. It's a Streamer.
Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, that thing is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I actually drew the plans for the first one. I don't know who got to do the second one, but the second one is even better than the first one.
I couldn't believe when I saw the first one, and when I saw it, I was telling him how pretty it was. He goes, "Yeah, that's after a repair, Charles." I was like, "Wow!" Couldn't believe that thing had been crashed.
I don't feel bad about eating my pizza in front of everybody with
Well, you
Phil sitting there
should.
eating his ice cream.
And Mike was eating ice cream. I was going to say that's illegal.
Okay, Charles. I'm
It
gonna
ought to
try
be
show
illegal.
a
How good
plan
this stuff
here.
is.
There it is. That's a
Oh,
Jim,
that's sharp.
I said Jim Aaron. It was actually Jim Armour.
Jim Armour.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's passed on now.
yeah.
Oh,
And I guess I would consider this to be kind of, I'll call it California school from the 70s. I mean, it could be
Yeah,
pretty closely aligned with like Bob Whiteley and who was the guy? The guy who used to cut chrome wings out there, John something or other.
There's a genie. Okay, it finally showed up on YouTube. Oh, that's sharp looking.
Yeah, ask our YouTuber, is this the genie he's talking about? I'd definitely endorse this as a good project.
yeah.
Greg, is that the one you're talking about, Greg? Do you see it on YouTube? Greg Nielsen? I really like Jim Armour's Epic.
Yeah.
Yes,
His Epic was
I
probably
remember
his
that.
best work.
That is a big macho plane.
Triple cord wings. That's cool.
I'm not positive, but I think the Epic is a pattern master wing. If it's not, it's darn close.
Yeah, there's a
I
guy.
thought the Epic, didn't the Epic predate the Pattern Master by quite a bit though?
It could
Maybe
have. I
not.
don't know.
Or maybe
I
he
don't
used the name, or maybe he recycled the name over a couple of airplanes. I don't know.
I don't know, but I remember they had the Epic came out, and then the one I always liked was can't remember the name, but it's a flying horse.
Pegasus.
Pegasus?
Pegasus. Thank you. My mind, I'm on this pain medicine, and it makes my mind the mush.
Yeah,
But anyway,
horse was pretty good.
yeah. But that was a beautiful airplane. I like both those, the Epic and the Pegasus. And then came the Pattern Master, and they said this is the next one in this series. And somebody was teasing me about it and showed me unrolled the plans, and I saw that front end. I said, "Holy smoke! How could you take those two beautiful airplanes and then come up with this?"
Yeah.
Because I think the Pattern Master is ugly as mud. I mean, that's just not a pretty airplane. But they fly great. They fly
Yeah, they
great,
do.
but
They fly good, but I think you're being generous when you call it ugly. So, I mean,
well, I only saw one that I thought was pretty, and that was I can't think of his name, but it was the prettiest. Somebody said it was the prettiest Pattern Master ever built. Had a canopy that was back.
what was his name? Rogers. What was his first
Yeah.
name?
Rogers.
Yeah,
Rogers,
Say again.
Mike
Mike
Rogers.
Rogers, I think.
Mike Rogers.
I think,
That's
I
it.
think that was him.
Yeah,
I think he
that's
had a
it.
real pretty one.
Yeah, he did. That was
I
the
was
only-
judging. I
I've
was
got-
judging at the team trials one year, and he was there with it. And I thought it was he did some really nice things with that airplane too.
He did.
So,
It was beautiful, but that's the only Pattern Master I ever saw that I liked. The one that Barron won the Nationals with was ugly as mud, and it was. I mean, it just was not a pretty airplane. You could call it a lot of things. Attractive, was just not in the ballpark.
yeah,
But
yeah.
man, he could fly.
I always thought Pattern Master was probably more of like a call it a piece of bedrock or something like that. It's like, okay, here, save all the big pieces here. Now make it look like something that you like. You know, you got
Isn't that pretty much
you got
what
a good
Windy did?
effective wing, a good effective tail. The moments are right. You build it, it'll bounce with this engine and all that. Now put your signature on it. You know.
Put some style.
Isn't that pretty much what Windy did with everything?
Yeah, but Wendy never called it a Pattern Master. Wendy always
No.
called it something else.
He made it look good, but it was
Yeah, he did that. He did. The only thing that Wendy ever did that I absolutely wonder why he did was he used those huge flaps, and I could never make them work. I built two of his planes, and I could never make them work until I cut those darn flaps down.
from
I don't
what
know,
I
maybe
was
this might-
reading in Stunthangar about that from Jose Modesto. That
Mhm.
was the SJ LJs.
Yep.
The way he set those up, Jim set them up, was to have very limited throw on the flaps and by far more on the tail.
Yeah. That probably
re-
worked. What I
I
did,
think
Because they
that
were
would be the
huge.
right way to do it, but I remember Wendy
would have
had
to be.
his set up with a dog, his first ones, he had them set up with a 1-to-1, and it's like, how in the
Yeah.
hell can you do that? You know,
yeah, that's too much flap.
too
Yeah,
much,
Just,
that
you
was
know.
way too
If
much.
you set it up with like a 1-to-3 or something like that, I'd buy
Yeah.
that. You know,
yeah, I'd buy that. I ended up going out about I think it was 4 bays from the tip and just slicing the thing off and making the outboard one adjustable.
yep,
And
that
and
didn't hurt a
make
thing.
the inboard one stationary, and they flew great like that. But with 1-to-1 all the way, I mean, with full size all the way to the tip, you just felt like you were just fighting the thing to do a wing over, let alone a loop. I just couldn't do it. Wendy
Yeah,
was
I don't know how
Wendy,
you could get enough control authority over that huge section and stuff. So
it was
I
you had to
think,
fly it fast so you could make enough air to move it.
yeah,
It was
I think,
it was on, but Wendy flew them well.
mhm. And yeah, it was an interesting exercise, but they did well. Even Wendy's later airplanes had, I think, larger than average flaps, but you know, he had gotten away from those really, really big ones. So.
One of the things working with Gordon Delaney on several of his projects was he usually built and was known for a twin. And he had 2 twins three actually in the end. His first twin was too much. His second twin was absolutely gorgeous. It was called Gemini. And the first time I saw it, it was yellow. And that was it. It was the only color on it was yellow. And it just stood out at the field like, you know, and it looked like its wing was so huge, going over in the wing over it looked like somebody was flying a surfboard overhead. It was just but you know, when both those engines were running right, he had a problem. One of his engines wasn't running right. And so in the middle of a contest, I was flying a Excalibur with an OS 35S on it that ran really good. It had been worked over by Glenn Dye. And both of his had been worked over by Glenn Dye, but the one it wouldn't sync with the other engine. And so he was through the first round, and he was talking about the problem of that engine. I said, well, look, I finished mine for the day. Let's pull my engine off and put it on there. So we pulled his off, took his spray bar and his Venturi and all that, and put it on my engine, mounted the thing up. And when he started that up, it was a new airplane. That thing flew like it was heaven bound. And, you know, he had no problem. And it had the illusion when it came down, it looked like it stopped right here, turn, and then fly out of it.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a few planes do that. What's that plane that Keith Trossel and Ted Finch were both flying at the VSC one year. Well, anyway, that had that illusion of stopping and turning. Anyway, that plane, he actually beat Bob Whiteley the first time on that particular flight. Yeah, he used to go have a t-shirt. You say, one of these days I'm going to beat Bob Whiteley. and Bob was good out here on the West Coast. Don't anybody think differently. But it used to drive Bob up the tree a little bit because there was Gordon behind him all the time behind him. Anyway, back to the moral of the whole story is that the engines, even if you got 2 of them identical, they won't run identical usually. And you have to work on, you have to be a good enough engine man, especially when you're flying twins with IC. You've got to be a good engine man. Electric is make the whole difference now.
Yeah. Let me say hi.
If I do a twin, it's going to be electric.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? Glad to see you in.
Yeah, I finally made it.
Good to have you here, Jim.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you, buddy.
Pays
Yeah.
off. Thank you very much.
Hey, I got a question for Denny. Hey, Dennis, Train is doing a control system like we were talking about. So I'm waiting for him to get that done. But in the meantime, Bob Hunt has been wanting to try some of the Shinko hinges, you know, the offset hinge where the elevator, the front of the trailing edge comes above the trailing edge of the stab. And so I have some of those hinges, and I talked to Howard, and it's that material you guys make the white mounts out of, and you 3D print them. So if I can get all this together, do you think your brother would put some of these hinges together for me?
If you got a file and stuff like that, tell you what, I'll send you his contact information, and I don't get a cut of the action or anything like that. So you're gonna have to deal with him directly. All right.
Okay,
So,
yeah, no problem.
all right, but I'm pretty sure I got your email. I'll make sure I'll send you his contact and everything like that. You can go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Do you know what that white material is called? Howard was trying to tell me what it was. It was like
Elron?
I'm at the point where I call it plastic. That's about as far as I
yeah,
get.
but
All
it
right.
is a special
Yeah.
kind of plastic because
Yeah. I know he's been using a lot of different kind of materials. Some are cheaper, some are a little more expensive, but print easier. Some are more expensive and they're stronger, but they print badly. And he's been
Yeah.
through an awful lot of this stuff. And this stuff,
yeah, I know the first
When
one
he-
we
you know,
got
when
from
he-
me were
he
yellow.
starts talking, him and my nephew start talking about what material they're using, and it's like they're speaking in tongues, as far as I'm concerned. It's just,
Yeah,
just an
they
alphabet
start
soup,
with a ZPGT.
yeah,
that's
Pet
what you want.
G, and it probably, I think Pet G, I think that name comes up a lot. I have absolutely
Okay.
no idea what Pet G means.
All right. Well, I'll touch base with him, and I'm sure he can clue me in on what he charged and all of the above to do these. Because I don't really care. The other thing I had is, I bought some of these Vicus units from Howard Rush. Well, I thought these were the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? This is a Vicus unit. All right. But a Vicus, it's only half the system. It's really not even half the system. What this does is when you mount it in your plane, if you get a solid light, that means your battery is 100%. As soon as it goes below 100%, the other battery starts blinking. It doesn't tell you what percentage it is, but it's just blinking. All right. So I thought Howard was just taking this and just kind of faking his loop. He always does that little loop, and then it shuts off. Well, it turns out that there's a second unit that goes to this. It's called the TUT system. It's about a 1-inch square, and Tim Westcott makes them. I've spoken with Tim because these things are, I tried to retrieve Howard's 4-year-old box out. I got Doug Moon to go down to a pawn shop. That was a funny little detective adventure, but needless to say, came to nothing. So, and Tim, he's an engineer, of course, electronic engineer. And he says, what we need is a surface mount engineer to do these. And he said he would provide open source of his design for the TUT unit. And he would even, provide some technical support, things like that. So I was really looking for, what's his name? Tom Varden? The Tom that comes in early here in Stunthangar.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Ramel.
Tom Manel?
Ramel.
No, Rammel.
Ramel.
Tom Rammel. Yeah.
Pardon me. Ramel. Right.
How do you spell that?
RAMMAL or EL. RAMMEL.
RAMELL. Tom Ramel.
No, Ramel.
Oh, Ramnell.
Ramel.
Okay. RAM or as in Mary or N as in?
Roger, here, I'll give it to you phonetically. Roger, Alpha Mike, Mike Echo Lima.
Oh, Ramel.
There you
You
go.
know a lot of people, John. Oh,
John knows everybody.
that's
Yeah,
it.
they've had a list out on me for years.
But I know Tom, he's always playing with those Arduino boards and things like that. And those require surface mount electronics. So I thought he might be interested in doing something like this. And because Tim Westcott would provide him the actual open source of the code. It's just a 1" by 1" square, but then you have to have some surface mount electronics put on the board.
All right.
So I don't know whether he would or he wouldn't, because I don't know how many of these things power cells. Apparently not many if you can't get a tut board, because the tut board is actually, when you hook the tut up, it does all kind of things, and it actually will. You set a time of your flight where the tut becomes active for a loop. And then you can actually loop the airplane and it will shut off at the bottom of the loop. That's an actual function that's in there. It has quite a number of functions. So, but I have 2 of these Vicus boards right now, which do me no good. So I got to try to get some more somewhere.
Well, Tom's an electrical engineer.
Yeah.
He's probably the guy you want.
Yeah, I mean, if he has time and he has an inclination. So I'll definitely, if you have his email address and a phone number, John, if you want to send that to me when you send me the email, I'll contact him and talk to him about it, because he hadn't been in tonight as far as I've seen.
No, I don't have that information on him, but I think Charles, who has his finger up.
Let me interrupt for a minute. Jim, Tom Rommel says, I can do surface mount designs. That's what he said in the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. Beautiful.
Let me continue on to chat behind, and let me say hi, Steve. Thanks for coming in. Steve Hines is in the house. Thank you very much.
Hines is in the house.
Hines is in the house. Comes trouble.
Let me get back with the chat.
Somebody locked the door. Oh.
Mike Miguel says, I was going to order a couple of plans from Flying Model Site a couple of weeks ago, and a notice came up saying that the website might not be secure. Anybody have any experience with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you go ahead and still place an order or not?
I didn't.
Okay. And then Greg Nielsen said a long time ago, yes. And I don't know what that yes is for because time has passed by. And then he said exactly it. So maybe that's yes to the genie that you showed up, Denny, the genie plan.
Yes.
Maybe that's yes. And maybe that's exactly it. And
Well, that was
By
a
the
cool
way,
little
I meant to say something about that too. I mean, I've had a couple of occasions here, somebody mentions the design and I call up a plan and put it up there and everything like that. I bought the Tom Wilkes CDs for classic models and for basically for nostalgia models. It's basically CD number 4 and CD number 22. Absolute wealth of information on all classic era designs and stuff like that, and cut into, and then second disc CD 70s designs and stuff. Thomas advertises on Stunthangar, and the CDs in my mind are golden, and I highly recommend them if you're into the history of the event and you want to see what some of these old airplanes look like. Typically the plan, the article that was published, the words of the designer, what he did, things like that. It's really good stuff.
Who is that, Danny?
Thomas Wilkes.
And
WILKS.
Yes.
And he's on Stunthangar in the classified or something, or in the
I think he's in the vendor area. I'd have to double check. But that's
Okay.
where
Yeah,
I
but
found
he
them.
doesn't, he makes props too, right?
I
Yeah.
think you're right. Yes. I
Yeah,
think
he's
his
in the
son
vendor.
Steve. I think his son Steve makes props. Not sure exactly how that works, but yeah,
Okay.
I believe it's in the vendor area. I think if you did a search on Thomas Stokes, you would probably find you'd probably be able to zero in on them. So
Well, let me continue on the chat. After that, exactly it. Then Brent says, "Howdy, guys. Getting ready for flying in the morning with Gordon Delaney and Bart Koplinski. Bart Koplinski's still there, huh? Wow.
He's building an airplane.
Wow, it's fantastic." And then Greg Nielsen says, "Plans should arrive any day now." And I guess that's the plans for the Genie. And then Marcel Legrand says, "When Gordon designed the Pathfinder, why didn't they make the modified bits or kits instead? You have to make them." It says, why didn't they make I think modified bits is what I'm reading for the kits instead of you have to make them. I don't know what he's regarding.
I don't know what he's regarding either.
Anyways, he'll probably come back. And then Tom Ramel says, I can do surface mount designs, like I said earlier. Then Greg Nielsen says, he is in the chat, Charles. Yeah, thank you, Greg. I know it's hard for me to get in a word sometimes during these conversations.
No,
I have a new, no, maybe it's not a new guy, but this is
hey, Tom,
how do you say this name? Ishmael. He says, "Hello, my name is Ishmael, and I am from Argentina. Greetings." Well, greetings, Ishmael. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Good.
And then Greg Nielsen says, "Genie, yes." So I'm all caught up. And thanks for coming in, Tom.
Yep.
that's it.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, would you like to send me a private message with your phone number and your email, and I'll get you all hooked up, and you can talk to Tim Westcott about this thing?
Sure.
All I have to do is figure out where the chat is on this thing.
I'm still trying to think about these mods to the Pathfinder that I'm having a rough time hooking into that.
What kind of mods?
Well, hopefully Marcel will come back and clarify for us. We have another person here, Alan Hayes. He says, "Evening, gentlemen. Been enjoying the chat. Phil, I may have a good number for D. Rice. How can I get this to you? I am here in Eastern North Carolina."
Well, I'm in Eastern North Carolina. Well, I'm just south of Winston-Salem, between Winston-Salem and Lexington, in an area called Midway. So yeah, if you're on eBay, if you're on YouTube, I don't really know. Don't know how I could do that.
He's on
He's on Stunthangar.
Stunthangar.
Put it on. Give me a PM on StuntMac, personal message on Stunthangar, and I can get it there. And I certainly appreciate it, because I'm about ready to squirt some clear on this thing, and I really want to put this decal on under the clear.
Now, Marcel Legrand says, "I meant in the plan, they suggest you make a new flap horn."
Oh, that's a corrected flapboard.
one's
Corrected
bent.
geometry. It's like a little
Yeah.
L type thing. You can get
Yeah.
those from Oki Air.
Oki Air has them. That's where I got mine.
And I'm sure that Smith has them too.
What are you talking about?
You know, the belt crate,
Flap horn.
the flap horn, it looks like a little hockey stick.
Oh, that one. Okay. Yes. Okay.
That's the corrected style flap horn.
Okay. You know, almost
That's why
one of mine are
suggested. They didn't make them. There wasn't a market space. They had to make your own when the kit was first kitted. And so the dimensions were on there and everything to make it. but now you can buy them ready-made.
Okay, air. If you'll get the
Says,
flap horn,
Get the elevator horn too.
get the adjustable elevator horn, and then in the spring you'll find you need a little bit more elevator than you do in the midsummer. Or excuse me, you need more in the midsummer because the air gets thinner as it gets hot. And then in the spring and the fall, you back off a little bit, have it more equal.
Okie Air has a service that if you tell them what plane you're building, and they have the correct dimensions for it, you can have them build your entire control system from belt crank to elevator horn, and everything is the correct sizes. You got a little adjustability there, so you can make adjustments. And I don't think, for what you're getting, the quality you're getting, I don't think it's that bad. But if you're poor like most of us, it might be a little tough coming up, you know, for it. But if you got a rich uncle,
Yeah, give me this for my birthday. How about it?
yeah.
Hey, Tom, did you ever talk to that place there in Jackson, Michigan?
No.
No?
Wasco Rabbit.
And by the way, Phil, Alan Hayes said he will PM you. Will do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that because I'd really like to get these decals. I think they really look cool. And this airplane is going to be kind of a tribute airplane. Naming it after somebody special.
Me. Yeah. The boss.
Very good.
Yeah.
Why do I
Very
keep
good.
hearing what sounds like a duck?
I keep hearing it say whack, whack, whack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds
I
like a
keep hearing it
duck.
too.
That's
All right. I'll mute my thing.
Huh?
Yeah, jeez.
It's coming from Daddy.
Yes,
No.
go on, Eddie. Thank you. It's
Bring
gone.
it back. It's gone, but bring it back. As long as I know
Come
what
on,
it is,
Danny.
it don't bother me.
It doesn't bother me. Go ahead.
I tell you what's a good one. If you have somebody send you a set of drawings, I don't know if you can see them or not, and tell you think of a paint job you want to put on that thing. And I've seen his for 2 years on that plane. I bet I've come up with 20 paint schemes, and they're either so complicated I know we can't make it work. I keep coming back to just his with different colors, and I think that's what I'm going to do.
Simple and straightforward is the best.
Mm-hmm.
You get too complicated, people lose interest real quick.
Well, I'll tell you one thing is,
it won't
as
score any
someone who-
better than a well done.
as someone who,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
as someone who just spent 2 weeks taping a Ringmaster, I'm serious. I used an entire roll of tape, started out this big. I'm down to the core, taping this thing out. But I will tell you this, if you're going to paint something, a dope finish, and you've had problem with tape, with it running under the edges and fuzzing and all that stuff, and we're always trying to find the right tape. If you get the blue 3M painter's tape, it ain't cheap, but those lines come out as crisp as you can believe. Just run your fingernail down the edge of them before you paint. I mean, right before you paint, you get everything outside and you're ready to spray, lay the gun down, go over every edge that you're going to do with your fingers, and then spray that thing. It comes out perfect. It's beautiful. It's the best lines I've ever had. And I've been doing this 50 years, and these are the best lines I've ever had, more than 50 years. And it just really, I was really tickled. I said, this is either going to be, I've learned something, or it's going to be a dog, and I don't know which one, but they turned out beautiful.
Phil, have you ever tried that green frog tape?
No, I can't get the darn stuff. Everybody
Yeah,
keeps talking about it. I can't find it.
Yes,
But that-
pretty
but
good. I
that-
think you can get it on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can.
I probably can't. Probably can. I don't get on Amazon much. I got my wife is the queen of Amazon, but I didn't think to ask her about it. Green
That-
frog tape.
That
I would
green,
probably try that.
that green frog tape, you have to be careful because It says right on there, make sure you let the paint dry for 3 days. I let the paint dry for 1 day, used green frog tape, and it peeled up the base paint. So
Oh,
be
boy.
careful.
Yeah, I'll stick with this blue paint then, because I've let it dry a day and put it on there, and it sat on there for 3 days because it rained. And I shot it and pulled it up, and it was perfect. So I'll just stick with what I got. This stuff's working. It's not cheap,
Does
but it
anyone
works.
know
Fix it.
if frog tape and duct tape
Can you
are
find it on the?
compatible?
Duct tape is a whole different animal. It's got a fiber base to it.
And there's all kinds of
Duct
duct
tapes
tape.
have a rough time tying them
From
frogs.
those, Steve.
What?
You won't get any offspring from those. They're incompatible.
No.
Frog tape, and duct tape. Offspring.
By the way, my wife is in the other room and she's listening to me. I mentioned green frog tape, and she just came around the corner with her little iPad, and she says, "What size you want?"
Oh,
Got all kinds of sizes. I can't get away with anything.
The queen of Amazon.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's great.
I can't get away with anything.
You do have to let the green frog sit on there for a little while though,
Yeah.
so that it will bond good. But
Well,
Oh Lord. Oh, I ain't touching that one.
you gotta
I came up with
let
a
the
bad
slime
joke, but I ain't gonna
flow.
do it.
Well, I gotta let the slime flow a little bit. That's what
Yeah.
seals under the edge of the tape.
yeah,
You know,
Mm.
when Wendy used to use a clear dope and he would seal the tape. Is that necessary today, or that's just an old-fashioned way of doing things?
Well,
It's the old-fashioned way.
but if you've
That's
got
what I used to
anything
do.
except a solid, like that blue painter's tape we're talking about, if
Yeah.
you have anything else, it's crepe paper like it. That's places the paint will get in and get under your tape. So you do have to seal it, and you use clear dope for it.
See, what they don't tell you is that masking tape is nothing but paper with glue on one side, and it soaks in. It will soak through it and get on there. That's the reason I was so scared when to try it. When Bob Hunt said, "Tape your planes out and cover them up, mask them with paper towels," I thought, Bob, you've lost your mind. But I tried it, and guess what? It works. Unless you just put the gun right, spray right on something, let it get wet. Just the spray, the overspray and stuff, I didn't have a single problem. I was really tickled. And he's right, you can tape one in 10 minutes. It's wild. It's a whole lot faster. Bob Hunt
Yeah.
does know a thing or two.
I will
that a
tell you
surprise?
a thing about when Bob removes, the tracer I'm doing now, it's just strictly the finishing resin on the wood, and I put the hairspray on. But when Bob soaks up the epoxy, he uses paper towels.
Yeah.
Try toilet paper. It is way better. You can just keep laying it on and laying it on until you got nothing left down there, and it'll be soaked through. And then you can just flip it over to put it in there. Hey, Mikey, how you doing?
That's the way we've done it for several years. And it does work. You're right.
Let me say hi to Lynn and Mike. You guys, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And I got to catch up on the chat box. I'm listening to you guys talk, and I lose place. So let me see here. Where was I at?
You're right there.
Marcel Legrand. He says, "What's the name of that place again, please?" What's the name of that place?
Control line parts.
Or maybe
Where I live?
Maybe that's what he's talking about. Control line parts, Marcel. Maybe that's what it is. And then Ishmael Sosa says, "I started control line recently. I learned a lot from the videos. I recently built a Nobler." And Jeff Riley says, "Phil, the blue tape is good until you buy it less than 3/8 wide. If you're doing curves, scallops, etc., use the 3M green tape from auto paint supply."
Use green tape for that. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been doing it the hard way. I cut strips, just cut it down 1/8 inch wide strips and do that. and I got away with it this time. But if I was going to buy some,
It's a vinyl.
Darren will take next time. I'll go ahead and buy some 1/8" green tape then.
They call it
And get
fine
probably get
line
the same.
tape.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm using.
probably
the
get
fine line
Fine line
yellow.
tape.
probably the same place I can get the blue tape. I'll look for that next time I go out there. Thank you. I always appreciate tips because I need all the help I can get with
Let me
painting.
tell Ishmael.
Yeah.
So Ishmael, welcome to the group.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
be
Very
stranger.
much. Welcome to the group.
Come back whenever you can. We'd love to have you.
And Ishmael, is that the top flight Nobler ARF you built, or did you build a actual kit? Maybe a Brodak Nobler kit? Which kit did you build? You can get back to us on that. That'd be great. And then I also want to know how well can you fly, because that's a really nice plane. If you just started, I would recommend someone starting off with a profile, a good profile, as opposed to flying the Nobler if you're just recently started.
Yeah, the profile's a lot easier to patch up than an Ober is. You make a boo-boo.
What's that plane Sig has? A profile, real easy to build.
Sig Twister.
Not
my
the Sig
favorite.
Twister.
Sig.
I'm thinking of the elevator only. The one that
Primary force.
Skyray?
No, the
Oh,
Skyray.
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 Sig Skyray.
I have one of those too.
An OS 20 FP.
Yeah,
or
20 or
LA.
25. If any of you are listening and you've been listening to us talking about Skyrays and OS 20s, don't be scared to put a 25 on there. I couldn't find a 20 that I could afford, and I put a 25 on mine, and it works great. I've got an old one that's got a Fox 35 on it, so it's not a bad deal.
Not bad airplane.
Now Jeff Riley, he says Marcel, it's Oki Air, so maybe that's the place. Is that the place?
For the
Marcel?
that's right. He was looking for the horns and stuff. Oki Air is the place.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff Riley.
Hey, Phil, where are you getting those decals from you guys were talking about? I need some decals myself.
Brother, no, these are just one decal. It's a Brotherhood of the Ring for Ringmasters.
Oh,
If you go on, Brotherhood of the Ring. If you go on, just go online and plug in Brotherhood of the Ring. It'll take you to a website. It's RC Universe. And then you go to Brotherhood of the Ring, and if you're lucky, you can get in. They got the most difficult. I'm gonna stop before I say something, but I don't like their website. I can't get into it. Maybe it's just nobody has been able to pass me through or whatever yet. But that is one confusing daggum site. But if you can get through to it and get in it, it should be great. But the decal that I want is, there's a whole page of them sitting there when you first go in. But they have they have the one Brotherhood of the Ring, Ringmaster's Rule, and then they have another one that's a ringmaster doing a triangle, except you see a ringmaster here, one on this leg and one on this leg. I want to get two of those and put them on the rudder, and then the big one and put on the inboard wing in near the center.
Did they do other kind of decals besides?
I don't think so. There is a site out there that does nothing but decals now. I saw the other day, and I'll try to find them tomorrow and get back to you.
Okay.
But you can send this. It's a girl, and you can send this woman anything you want to be made into a decal, and she can do it. She says she can do anything up to. She says she can do anything up to. I think it was 11 by 17. So she must be working on some kind of business copy machine type deal. I used to be a copier tech, and that's pretty good machine, but that goes that big.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's probably a big color laser.
Chat box.
Probably.
Yeah. So Ishmael,
I have a
Ishmael Sosa responded, just a second, Jim, and he said that it's a Nobler scratch. I guess scratch built with a Fox 35.
Wow.
So
He knows how to build then.
yeah, that's it. The build. You can build that. You can build anything you want. I don't know how well you can fly, but like John was saying, maybe like a profile, and just hang on to your Nobler until you can maybe do the pattern or something, and then do the Nobler. And then Jeff Riley said, "Great engine choice, Ishmael. That's all I run here in Southern California. Then Marcel Legrand says, what motor would you recommend for the Pathfinder? I have built 3 now and have only used LA 46s.
Good
Well, you
choice.
got the best motor.
LA 46 is probably the premier motor to use on that.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
also you can use an LA 40 or the 40 FP, or you can
Yeah.
use. Let's see, I've had 40 FPs on mine. My latest one has had a Rodak 40 on it.
Oh, shucks.
It's a little weak.
It worked fine on mine. It wasn't real heavy. And I tend to use what they call a California Power combo, which is a 40 size engine and an unobtainium Grish 3-blade prop.
Yeah, they are unobtainium.
Yeah, and they work very well for me.
Yeah,
I found where you can get those though, John.
Where's that?
There's a guy in Florida, and I'll have to get you his name because I can't call it right now. Any other time I would know it. But he comes to our contest a lot, and he makes propellers. And he says, "Oh, I can make that. I have molds for that." I told him about one of those unobtainium props. He can make you a carbon fiber one. That's that same mold. He said he just used one of those props and made a mold. And he just puts the fiber in it and puts the epoxy in it, slaps the top on it. And when it comes out of the mold, he cleans it up and it's a propeller.
Well,
I'm
that's a
going to
really
order
good
some from
prop.
him. Yeah, it works on a lot of
Whitney
stuff.
could probably do that for you too. He makes props.
Yeah.
Who? That's who it
Bob-
is. Bob Whitney. That's who it
Bob
is. Bob Whitney.
Yeah.
He makes some darn good props.
Yeah, real good.
Well, that prop, Grish made 2 props in the 10-inch size. They were a 10.4 and a 10.6. And you can twist up a 10.4 to a 10.6. And you can do a 10.6 down to a 10.4. So it doesn't matter which one you get. And it's
Yeah,
even
I'm
better.
looking for some 10.4s.
Yeah, that's a good prop. It's even better if you got it in carbon fiber, because then it's real easy to twist and set.
That Grish prop company, didn't that used to be in Indiana?
Yeah,
I think so.
They've been out of business for 20, 30 years.
Think about it. In the last 10 years, we've lost. Well, Grish has been out longer than that. Well, we lost Grish. We lost Zinger, which I thought was the best kit prop on the market. We always modified them, but they work great. You lost Top Flight. You lost
Rev Up.
No, I can't think. Rev Up, and there's 2 others that were known. Bali, and
Medley.
Yeah, Medley. They're all gone. So,
hey Jim, do you ever get a chance to get in what you wanted to say, Jim? I know I interrupted you.
I was just going to say that the decal that I need is for a Pat Johnston profile P51, and the canopy needs to be full color, and I've already got a design for it, like the Mustang.
I bet she can do it.
Yeah. So if you can find her, you guys got Bob Whitney's email address?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'd like to get it.
Well, hang on a minute, and I'll see if I can scrounge it up for you here.
I think it's FC1 Racer at AOL.
Yeah, that sounds right. But we shall see.
Mike, with that neck brace on, you remind me of the bad guy in the Buck Rogers group of films. The one that was always trying to take over the world. What was his name?
I don't know. That's way before my time, buddy.
I know.
You mean Ming the Unmerciful?
Yeah, Ming the Unmerciful.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just look at it. Look at us for a minute there, Mike.
Jim Smith, check your email.
Okay.
Not now, sometime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dress you up just right. You could be Ming the Unmerciful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
Bob
you know,
Whitney is,
For a combat
F2
guy, that would be a great name.
yeah, Mean the Unmerciful.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. Uh,
Let me
but
interrupt
Bob,
again, guys.
Bob is F2C Racer at AOL.com.
Hey, look at that. I
F2C.
remember. Oh, F2C.
Yeah, F2C Racer.
My
Have
memory was.
Mike, I'm getting ready to hunt down that bed and breakfast tomorrow.
Bed and breakfast.
Yeah, the place we're staying at up at King Orange. You still gonna make it down there?
Oh, yeah. We plan on being there.
Okay.
When is King Orange?
Or are you talking about renting a house instead of a hotel room?
Yeah. It's right by the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be the way to do it.
It's got to be better than it's got to be better than a hotel we stayed in because it
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was
It's
pretty
way better.
sketchy, I got to say.
I mean, it's not the Taj Mahal, and it's got kind of a weird. I think they used to bring in, parolees from the prison or something like that. So it's got a weird kitchen and it's got some weird shit. But it's really nice. You get your own bedroom. I think you can put like 11 people in or something like that.
I was going to ask you how many bedrooms are there, and are you looking for people to help fill it? Is that why you're
Well,
bringing
I
it
don't know
in?
yet. I got to make sure I can get it booked first. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. And then I know Dave Hallis and Rick Osborne, probably Bob Whitney will stay there with us too.
Yeah. What would you have a room for me and Sam? Maybe.
Yeah, because my sister Patty's not going, and I doubt my nephew and his wife are going either.
Well, yeah, I think that'd be something that we would be interested in, Jim.
Yeah, well, you already told me you were, so.
Yeah.
Jim, if I could, I'd like to get in on that one too.
Oh, I'm not staying there. Phil's staying there. Nope, no way.
Oh, I give him too hard a time. Jim, you said that was F2C Racer at AOL.com?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think AOL was even still around.
Yeah.
Phil, I have his phone number too. If you just want to call him, Bob likes to talk on the phone too. So,
well,
he's real good about answering up emails. I usually hear back from him like an hour.
He is.
Okay.
He sits around all day long and just watches stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just give him an email and ask him to give me a call and give him my phone number, and maybe he'll call me.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
I'd
get
like to get
place
some props.
tomorrow, and then we'll start filling it up. Well, we got Les McDonald coming down there to judge, so he might want to stay there. I don't know if he will or he won't. Him and his wife. And I think Doug Patterson's going to be there, so there'll be a couple more.
If you got one empty, I'd sure like to do it too.
Yeah,
I'll have to butter up Mike. I'll have to butter up Mike between now and then.
You're not buttering anything on me, buddy.
I'll buy him a beer. He'll be fine.
Hey, give him a kiss first. He'll be
talking about.
I can't do that. Can't do that.
Talking about props. Have you considered Stephen Wilk, Eliminator Props? You know, he makes a lot of clones.
I don't know how to get through to him.
Stunt props.
He's the same guy. You can get all the classic and old time and
all the rev ups, all that old stuff, and Grish's. I think he makes just about everything. He's got molds for just about everything.
Well, and he also does the discs with all the plans and articles for classics and old times and all of that.
Yeah, he's on Stunthangar in the vendor's corner. Eliminator Props. He's right down there in Stunthangar. You'll see him.
Anybody considering the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge? It's coming up November 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I put it on the calendar today.
Outstanding.
That'd be great, Mike. That way we can get together again.
I'm gonna see if the wife will let me get a plane ticket and zip out there, and I'll get one of the McBride's airplanes and just, I'm just gonna fly in for the game kind of thing.
Sure, sure.
But it might be a hard sell because we got Huntersville on the 16th, 17th, King Orange on the 22nd, and then Las Vegas, I think, is 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's going to be
Yeah.
3 contests in 4 weeks. So Vegas might be a hard sell, but I might be able to talk her into it as I need a little
Offer to take her with you.
Oh, no, she don't care. She don't care nothing about Vegas, but she's not going to let me take Sam. I can tell you that.
Oh.
But we'll see.
Guys,
I was thinking about doing that, but it's not looking like I'm going to have the finances to go there. I wanted to.
Yeah, well, it's still time. It's still early. Guys, let me catch up on the chat box. Let me see here. Where did I leave off at? Phil, Alan wants to know, what is your name? What is your name on Stunthangar?
Philip Bailey. I just use my name.
So you want to spell that for him, just in case?
Phillip Bailey.
All right, then next is Marcel Legrand. He says, a friend of mine in England made me a control line flight sim using a handle and an RC controller. Excuse me. We have a Peacemaker and Igor's model plus an extra. I have taught about 5 kids to fly on it so far. Oh, that's very
cool.
Great deal.
That is a really good deal. And then Ishmael Sosa says, what prop do you recommend for a Fox 35 on my Nobler? Thank you. And then, Jeff Riley chimed in, just use any 10.5 wood prop to start, a 10.6 if the 5 is too slow, and 5% nitro and at least 25% caster, no synthetic. And then Marcel Legrand says the sim is called Roll M House, and the last word is PICASIM, but Pika Sim.
Yeah, I've run it on that.
Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
familiar
it
with
works. It works okay. I use just the RC controller, and I've got it set up so the stick, when you pull it back, that's up, and when you push it forward, that's down.
You want to lower your camera? We're getting your glasses on up. Oh, there you go.
No, I'm just leaning back. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm just being lazy. But no, I use the Pika Sim, and what I do is I just hook my radio in so that when I push the stick forward, that's down. When I pull it back, that's up. And it works pretty good.
All right, thank you. And
Makes
then,
sense.
Yeah, Lynn, you looked like Kilroy before, so.
yeah, so Marcel said it's, sorry, Rowell House. That's what he said. Rowell House, Pika Sim.
Yeah.
And then Greg Biswick. Hey, Greg, he says, I have been given, I think, an Intrepid XL. Wow.
Wow.
Has a foam sheeted wing. It is built but not put together. It has 1 3/4 inch horn flaps and elevator. Normally use 1 1/4 and 3/4. Any suggestions?
Don't get it too heavy. It's easy with that big airplane.
Keep it light.
Put on too much paint.
If it has really tall horns, you move the push rod outward on the bell crane.
Oh, and then I knew Mike had one. Mike's showing his Intrepid kit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was talking
Actually,
about him getting started on that pretty soon.
I was going to tell you guys tonight, yeah, I got a few combat things I need to tidy up and button up, so I won't be scrambling in October for Huntersville. But as soon as I finish getting a few more combat ships ready, I'm breaking the seal on the Intrepid XL.
Wow.
And I got a Bob Hunt foam wing for it, sheeted foam wing that I picked up last year. And the plan is, to Samuel's dismay, he was not very happy, but I'm going to skip combat at the Nats next year, and I'm going to build this Intrepid, and I'm going to fly stunt at the Nats next year with my BOM legal airplane.
Awesome.
Right.
Outstanding.
Woo-hoo.
It's a good airplane. Like I say, it's big and you get it overweight real quick if you don't watch your paint.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
put a
true.
75 in. I'm going to put a PA 75 in it. So if Len can fly 80-ounce airplanes, I think I can fly a 70
No
ounce.
problem. I just finished the big Cardinal today, 71 ounces.
Okay.
Nice.
It's all ready to go.
That's
Motors-
good, though.
Motor's broken in. She's all ready to
But
fly.
you still got
Lynn?
gas to put in, right, Len?
Well, that's true. You put fuel in it. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Lynn,
Yeah,
I have a full size Cardinal. I fly on 10%.
right.
It has an OS 46 VF in it.
Wow,
It pulls it with authority.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've
Thing
got a
flies great.
CAS 77 in mine, and
Wow. That's a lot of
I
power.
just finished breaking it in, and let me tell you guys, I learned something big this week. Do not ever use cheap glow plugs. They're nothing but
No.
crap. I was having trouble with it. It was running, but it wasn't running even, and I kept thinking it was because it wasn't breaking in. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, I thought I'm going to try another plug. So I broke out a brand new $11 Merlin plug, stuck it in there. That engine ran so smooth, it was like night and day.
Mhm.
I had been using
Yeah,
those.
cheap plugs.
I had been using those $4 glow whatever they are from Brodax. They're nothing but crap.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, if somebody wants a bunch of those, I'll just throw them at them because they're nothing but junk. They're no good. They're useless. As every time you take the battery off, the engine slows down.
Oh yeah, that's not a good glow plug.
And
Yeah.
it was doing the same thing on my Spitfire with a different plug, same plug. They're just no good. They're supposed
Yeah.
to be hot plugs, but they're crap.
That's the tail. When the battery comes off, you shouldn't even notice it.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was starting the Intrepid XL and skipping combat next year. Like I
was
said,
the thing. That was the thing.
well, no, that's not the thing. That's one of the things. The other thing I'm going to tell you here in a minute. Yeah, Sammy wasn't very happy when I told him that. I told him, he can either come up to the LPLAD and fly advanced with me because he can fly stunt too up there. Or I said, he's going to be 13 years old next year. I can leave him on the combat circle and he can fly combat. Guys will take care of him up there. So that was the one thing. I'm skipping combat, going to throw my hat in the ring for stunt at the Nats. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. That's why I want to start the airplane now. I'm not going to wait till after Christmas or anything like that. I'm going to get a jump on it right now so that
Good for you.
get it done as soon as possible. The other thing, Charles, I teased Charles a little bit today and said I did a thing today. I'm going to share my screen here and show you guys.
All right.
I think desktop. Is that it? No, that's not it. I think it's application. I'm new at it. Let me see here. Let's see. Oh, I got to get to the other tab. Okay, is that Sharon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Axioma out of Uzbekistan. That's the Axioma 3. I have ordered today, Western Union the money, an Axioma 4, the next version of this airplane.
That looks nice.
This is, and I'm getting an electric one. I'm not going to get nitro. I'm going to get electric because this may have a future use for Sam down the road.
Nice. That looks sharp.
I'll just scroll through the pictures here as I talk. This is a full take apart model. It all comes apart and comes in a really, really nice box. So Mike Waldron has one of these. Gene Martin has one.
Mike has two of them, actually.
Mike Scott just finished his. Will Davis got his. Now he just got his in white. But for like an extra $200, I think that's what we figured out it costs. They'll do custom paint on it. So we'll be getting one in red, white, and blue, stars and bars, all that good stuff.
Nice looking.
And let me see here. I think there's a video at the end.
I think Tim Riddleman has one also.
Tim Riddleman has one.
Yeah.
Here we go. So there's the little walk around. Now the Axioma 4 is very similar, but I think he moved the stabilizer position a little bit and maybe the wing position.
And he added a scoop over the top.
Well, that's an IC motor there. The electric one, I don't think has a scoop on the side.
No, you can get it with the two scoops on the side. The new one has them.
Yeah.
And then it has a little scoop on the very top in the front that helps cool it. It's supposed to help cool the motor.
Yeah, and you can get it in just white, and paint it yourself, but it's only $200 more to have them paint the airplane. Exactly. And since it's not a BOM legal model anyway,
exactly.
Who cares?
Why bother? Yeah.
Why bother? Pay the extra $2.
For sure.
Mike likes his.
What'd they hit you up for that, Mike?
Let me stop my share here. So the airplane itself was $1,400 with paint, and then it's he'll ship it in a box just for shipping, and you don't have to pay for that. But if you want the box that's to take on the airplane and to be able to travel with, he charges $250 for that box. But Will Davis said, because he got one, he said it's like a piece of furniture. It's so beautiful. He said it's worth every penny to buy the case for it that you're able to take on the airlines with you. Because he said you couldn't build it for that. He said the box is gorgeous and it meets all the TSA requirements too. So you don't have to buy the box. He'll ship it in a much cheaper version of the box, but if you want
it's a good place to put the plane when you're done.
When you're done, yeah. And then the shipping, he said, is $250. So $1,900 total for the airplane. I've been
good deal.
Yeah. Well,
especially when you compare the price of that to, say, a Yatsenko or one of these Starlight models, that's a good price.
Well, here's the thing too. This guy Sharat, I think is how you pronounce his name. He worked for Yatsenko.
Okay.
Wow. He built sharks. That's what he did, and then he went off and started his own company.
Okay.
And called it the Axioma. So it's basically, I'm sure it's very much inspired by a shark.
Yeah, and there's some differences.
Yeah.
In fact, Mike Waldron, he's got two of those, but he's got a Yashenko elliptical shark coming as well.
Okay.
He likes that shark better than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've watched those fly. They just, you trim them a little different and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Denny, I looked at that email. I didn't really get it, but I presume you sent something to your brother with my info on it to contact me.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I addressed it to both of you. So the idea is now for you guys to take it from here. So.
Well, you didn't give me your brother's phone number or anything, but I think Wayne has it anyway. So.
Write him a note. I don't pass out phone numbers or anything like that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Wayne's got it because he's ordered some stuff before. So.
Yeah.
I get it from him.
And Wayne did get a get a mount, stuff like that. So
yeah, he's got about 6 of them. Starting with the yellow.
Sounds like he's got more of them than I do. So
well, the yellow ones, it didn't work out too good. We got one of the first ones, and the first thing it did was break on as soon as the motor started.
Yeah.
So, well, I think there's a problem with something in that one.
Yeah.
So And I guess you guys have tried a couple different kinds because I know there were some different colors for a while. But now
well-
the white ones are awesome, man.
Well, the
They're-
white ones, I think he made them in white because they're easy to paint.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I've
go
got a
in and
yellow
paint
one.
'em. But yeah, you can make it just about any color you want. I know he's made some in like, neon orange and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
But I think he
Clear.
used different materials in the beginning.
yeah,
And
he's
he-
got, like I say, I know he's got different materials. He's working on spinners.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. How about that?
That's nice.
And you can print it in 3 colors and all that kind of stuff. So that's new. He hasn't actually made any of those for anybody yet, except for me. So
That's neat.
Come on, Danny. We're Nat's
Yeah,
buddy.
I want to show you guys a little bit of paint
Whoa, whoa.
compatibility.
I don't think,
Oh.
I don't think Mike finished.
What happened, Steve?
oh, you're in the process of stripping it down.
Yeah, stripper's incompatible with that paint.
What, the stripper didn't touch it?
The first stripper I got didn't do worth a crap. That's like 3 coats. And I talked to Randy Powell tonight, and he told me to get the what's the hell? The Jasco paint
There you go.
epoxy remover.
Yeah, that's a really good stripper.
And then that's 1 coat that I did just a little bit ago.
With the
So yeah, I mean this part here, this was, I mean, just crazy on there. But yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll get it done.
What kind of a clear coat you got on there, Steve?
Automotive clear.
Yeah, Joe.
But what it is that the automotive clear will come off, that quick strip, whatever, it won't touch dope.
Oh,
To get this part as good as it was, that was washed with lacquer thinner. It's just crazy that it won't, it'll bubble the stuff up, and then the second coat doesn't seem to do any more to it. It hardens and then it doesn't do anything. I mean, so I don't know.
Well, maybe the secret is not to let it harden. While it's still soft, take a scraper and scrape it off.
I tried and tried. I got dents in the balsa now, and
yeah, you can fix those with some blue goo.
yeah. But yeah, what a pain in the butt for like 4 or 5 hours of trying to get this.
Tell me about it. I threw my purple wing away. That's the one I beat up online.
What I did find out though is that this airplane silk span was holding stuff on. That I think when that case got all bent out of shape and stuff on the way back from France, that it broke more stuff than what I thought, or cracked it. Samantha, last time she flew this was at the Nats in 2019, and I never took it back apart. Well, I go to start taking it apart, and it's like, well, damn, the wing's loose. The back part of the hold down deal was broken off in the airplane. So luckily nothing happened to the plane, when she was flying or whatever that last time.
Is that the Sammy Special?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a nice airplane.
I'm gonna strip it all and then weigh it, see how much weight. So far this much is about 5 grams. So I may get maybe 15 grams off it. I don't know, but I gotta take all the silk span off it and stuff and then wash it down. We'll see how much we lose on that. But yeah, I'm gonna cut the top blocks off. You probably can't see it on the, maybe you can see it this way. It's polywogged. I'm gonna have to cut the deals in it and spread it open because it's wide here. It narrows to that part and then it comes back out for the tail. So I'm gonna take all that off and cut them and try to straighten that back out. But yeah, I don't know about super light wood though, because the rudder on it is warped.
Mm.
It's got a cup in it now, and it's the wrong way.
Oh no.
That's not good.
No, so I mean, you know, Mike bought that airplane for a couple grand, and I got a couple grand in this one.
Whoa.
By the time it was all said and done, and I mean, it was heavy and everything else, but yeah, we'll get it fixed up and get a different motor in it, and I got to figure out a different way to get some cooling in the top. I don't know if I'm going to put a little scoop up here or whatever for the ESC, because I put the battery in this thing, and then these little arms close down to lock everything in place, and then I had a way to take the ESC and set on top of the battery. It was horrible to put a battery in this thing, but otherwise everything got so hot.
Well, if you put a scoop in the front, you could. I told you about those ones at Hobby King. You know, the little plastic ones.
Yeah, see, I made one out of balsa wood.
Yeah, well, that's fine too. But don't forget, you got to have one in the back that's at least twice as big.
Well, the whole bottom on this is open here and then there. So
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your scoop is on the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you get all your shit in there, that it's gonna get the air's gonna get blocked and it's not gonna get down there to your ESC. So that's why you're putting the scoop in the front on the top. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, because I want to get the ESC back in the top. The way I had it, it was in the bottom.
Okay.
Then I got a diverter in there that diverted half of, well, not quite half of the air to the motor. Then the ESC set up in here, and it got the full blast of that.
Right.
And I bought a $75 spinner from True Turn that with the holes in it and everything else, and that didn't make a difference either. That thing still got so hot, Samantha lost that flight there from the connector just melting down.
Yeah. Well, if you get it in the top of the plane, your ESC, that's where I mount mine. You'll put a scoop in the front so that you can suck some air in across underneath the top block. But then you need to have an opening in the back of your top block. Don't rely on, you know, you got a former down there and stuff that airflow does not flow good around corners. So you want another hole, and you can just drill a hole if you want, but just make sure it's the right size. You know.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is on the tail, because I'm going to make a different tail end. I'm going to do like Bob Hunt does, open it up so you got negative pressure on the back of the airplane and suck air through the whole thing.
Yeah, that would work too. As long as you're, just remember that airflow, anytime you have a 90-degree turn, like let's say you got formers up there on the top.
Yeah.
Well, even though the back is open, when the air goes to go to the back, unless it's got a smooth channel to go in, it's not going to flow good. But if you dump it right at the end of your top block and you make it the right size, you know, 2 to 3 times the size of the inlet, then that air is going out that hole.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, it's all open along
Hang on, you guys hang on a second. I haven't hold my hand up for too long. Mike, you want to say goodbye, Mike?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
All righty.
call it quits.
Thanks for coming in, Mike. I appreciate it. And I want to finish up on the chat. There's a question that someone has for you guys. And I know it's almost, it's actually after 9. So we're going to answer these questions and then we're going to transition to the after party. And those that are listening, the after party sometimes is better than the live stream portion. Craig Biswick, he has a question. He says, is the horn height okay? He has a 1 3/4 inch. And he says he can cut it down to 1 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch for the elevator. He's just wondering, is what he has, is that okay?
You can maintain your ratio percentages with the longer horns, and you'll have more power to your flaps. In other words, but with a longer horn, you got a longer lever arm. Remember the old saying, you give me a lever arm long enough and a place to pivot it on, I'll move the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the situation with a longer. If you can use the longer lever arm, don't make it smaller. You can take the same ratios and build them into the longer lever arms by using longer lever arms on the parts you're moving with it. Does that make clear? Is that clear, Dennis?
I think the more to the point, use the horns, but move the push rod off the bell crank to the outermost hole rather than the innermost hole.
Yeah.
And you should end up pretty close to the same ratios. And then, like John was saying, if you use the tall horn on the flap and the elevator at the same time, you still get a 1-to-1 ratio and everything like that. So that'll still work well. And the payoff is that, you get a stronger lever arm and everything like that. But the amount, if there's any play in the system, it goes away because of the long arms and everything like that. Any looseness or anything like that, it basically doesn't come into play. The surfaces barely move. And also the load on the push rod ends itself basically goes away. You double the length of the horn, you get half the load on the push rod end. Simple as that.
That's what I was trying to say.
Fantastic. And then Marcel Legrand, that question earlier was from Greg Biswick. So Marcel Legrand says, hi, Lenny. You go by Lenny, Lynn, or not?
Yeah, some people call me Lenny.
All right. Well, he says, hi, Lenny. Have you got there? Would love to see it.
Would love to see what?
Probably the new Cardinal.
Oh, okay. I can get that.
Okay. And while you get that, Jeff Riley, he responded to Greg. He said, Craig, if you use tall horns and a long throw on the bell crank, you're fine. As long as you built-in control throws are what you're happy with. And then Greg Biswick says, I'm on target for 67 ounces. It's a T&L Super Tiger 60. And
good motor.
Yeah.
Got a good motor.
And that's for the Intrepid. So that should be good, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
It should be plenty.
XL.
The thing of it is, just when you put this thing together, check it before you seal everything up and make sure you got at least 33 to 35 degrees of up and down in your flaps. Then when you come off the flap horn back to the elevator, make sure you got at least that much in your elevator horn. If you got 33 degrees, you got plenty. If you've got 70 degrees, you got too darn much throw. If you got 20 degrees, you got not enough throw. I mean, 33 degrees seems to be about the magic number on most airplanes. And you just put that much in it and you'll have plenty to fly it and not have anything to worry about, but it won't be too darn sensitive. If you got 45 degrees, it's going to be too sensitive. I don't know why 15 degrees, well, it's not even that much, makes so darn much difference, but everything I've built that has anywhere near 45 degrees is too sensitive. So as you're building it, you build the wing and you run it out to that horn and check it and just see, get you I've forgotten what you call the gauge.
Protector.
Yeah, protractor. Put it up there and see how much flap movement you have. And if you got as much as 33 degrees, you're going to have a good airplane. I think my total movement on my SV11, I think we figured out about how much I just moved my hand about as much as I ever have to move it on that airplane. And one of the guys was standing there looking at it. I had 31 degrees is all I ever used. And that's really, I mean, that's probably more than I ever used because I was really yanking it back. But 31 degrees on the flaps, and I think the elevator is about the same. But
little note on that suggestion, Phil. You're right on target. Myself, I use between 26 and 32 degrees on the flaps. Try to get in that range, and then I use slightly more on the elevator. I use
slightly more on the elevator,
33 to 37 degrees on the elevator.
But the important thing when you're building, if you can change the flap later, I mean the elevator later. But while you're building it and sealing this thing up, you sheet over the wing and everything, you can't get to the bell crank anymore to change it. So before you sheet it, make sure your flaps move like 30 degrees.
Make sure you got
as long as it'll move that much, you got it covered.
Make sure you got the bell crank centered.
Yeah, got to have it centered. The three important things: make sure it's centered, make sure you have enough travel at the flap, make sure there's no binds. It'll work. Everybody thinks it's darn magic. There's no magic to it. It's just follow some simple rules. And when you get ready to glue hinges, the thing that kicked me in the butt for so many years was my hinges would bind on me. I'd have hinges that weren't good enough. Try a couple tricks. When you get to your hinges, put a little bit of oil in the hinges or a little Vaseline or something in the barrel itself.
Right.
Keep it off of the tabs, but in the barrel itself. Then put them in the flaps with a little bit of epoxy in, and you put them. I put mine in with a glue gun and insert it down there. Don't put a whole lot. You don't need it. Put just a little bit of glue down in there. Put the tongue of that hinge down in there, and do the ones that are going to be on that wing, on that flap. If there's 4 of them, put all 4 of them in. Take it to a good flat surface and mash them in there flat, all at the same time. So now they're all equal. Then you stand that thing up somewhere where the hinges are on top. If there's any glue going to run, it's going to run down into the slot, not out to your hinge barrels. I used to just lay them down. They'll be all right. No, bad idea. Stand them up. When you put them in the wing, you put them in the wing the same way. Put the airplane in your lap and put this side on, and hinges are down. Then do this side, same thing. And stand that airplane over in the corner and let it sit for a few hours. And I mean a few hours, not a few minutes. Epoxy don't sit. I don't care if it says 5 minutes. It don't really set up for 24 hours. You're not ready to use it for 24 hours. And you never put the hinges in the plane until it's already painted and ready to go. Because you will get paint in the hinges and you will make a mess. Everybody's always told me, oh, you can do that. It's no problem. It's no problem. Yeah, it is. Wait and do the hinges last. That's the last. When you put the hinges, you put your flaps in, your plane's built.
Yep.
Good point. Gordy taught me when I was putting hinges in. We'd take, of course, I use the zap method with the hinges, but
yeah,
we'd get the hinges already going and go to a door frame because you got a square flat thing, come at it from the side and put it in the door frame and get all those barrels so they're all lined up.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we off screen?
No, we're still streaming. I haven't them to show yet, but I will be ending it shortly. Waiting for Lynn to be able to show his plane.
I'm here. I got a little question for you here, Charles. Is Mike Lonke still on here?
Yeah. He's
Mike,
the guy with the neck collar on.
Did he get cut off? Like he was talking about his airplane and what he was planning to do and so forth, and all of a sudden he was just gone. I don't know what happened.
I didn't know what happened either.
Maybe Mike can tell us what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't remember.
Mike, you're muted.
Yeah, no, I'm here. No, I was just talking about ordering that plane. I thought it would garner a little more discussion, but we moved on, so it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
I have
because
a question.
I was interested in what you were talking about, and all of a sudden everybody started talking about other things.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway.
fine.
Okay.
Mike, I'm gonna have to get your phone number so I can call. Because
I was gonna wait for
one of those too.
For the after deal.
Yeah. You're out of here, Jim?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go. I got flying in the morning.
All right.
Me too.
And
take care, Jim. Good flying, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, on the Great Plains makes an AccuThrow. It goes on your flaps in your elevators. I think we talked about it one time. I think Oki Air is the one that has the real nice ones. They're the arms that stick out that you're looking at to see whether you're centered or not. They're made out of carbon or something, and they stick way
Yeah, I
out.
think that's it. Yeah.
I think Oki Air makes those. They're
I have
not
Yeah,
cheap.
Great Plains.
It's worth having. Good
Yeah.
tool.
I have like
You
two.
can find that. I mean, the AccuThrow works all right. It just has real short little arms, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a nice evening.
All right. Thanks.
Good
For
night.
You too.
And
See you Monday.
Yeah.
so we're going to show Marcel Legrand, the Cardinal.
I can do that.
Then
Yep.
Don't
Hey,
forget,
did you
Dennis
say
is
hi to
been
you,
trying
Peter?
to say goodbye, I think.
I hope not. Danny leaving so soon? I got to go in a minute too, but anyway,
There we go, guys.
Look at
I
that.
got to go be
Oh, that
one
looks
with my ice
great.
pack.
Marcel, you seeing this, Marcel?
I can't.
Make me
That looks
big
good,
fellas.
Lynn.
Okay.
Very nice, Lynn.
Okay.
Marcel, I mean,
I still can't see it.
Lenny talk, Lynn, and it'll show up with you, Lynn.
Oh, okay. There, now I'm talking. Is it
Now
showing
you
up
will.
Oh, now I see it.
Okay,
pretty.
there we go. Yeah, it turned out all
Very
right.
pretty.
Yeah, thank
There's
you.
the moose horns, Lynn.
Put them on the next one. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, guys. We'll see if it flies.
Good so.
You never know.
Wow, it looks
Okay.
great.
Okay, thank you very much.
That does
Okay.
look great. Well, Marcel, we showed you the plane, and hopefully we've showed you a good time. I've had a good time tonight. We've had, at the height of our program, we've had as many as, looks like, I don't know, 30 people, and we have 24 likes, so we're a little bit short. And if you happen to be watching this, please give us a thumbs up, increase those thumbs up. And we're going to be transitioning to the after party. We're not going to stop. Sometimes the after party is better than the live stream portion of the show. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. And by the way, Lynn Marcel Legrand says, very nice, Lynn.
Oh, okay.
And so we're going
Thank
to
you.
be transitioning to the after party. Thank you very much for coming in. We had Jim who left. He gave us a super chat of $20, and I should have thanked him again for that. But we have $20 in revenue and no members. Remember, we have a YouTube membership, which is only $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And that helps support the channel. And if you don't want to do the subscription, don't forget to super chat like Jim did, and show us some love and give us some support. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to end the live stream, and we're going to continue ourselves and have some fun. But the after party is sometimes better.